Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last episode, we fought our way down through Blighttown. Upper Blighttown anyway, we're still in Lower Blighttown. And in today's episode, I would like to wrap up this area and maybe start another. I'm not entirely sure. We have a little bit of exploring to do down here before we actually go and wrap up the area. Immediately to the right here. Take out that crag spider. Ugh, these things. Yeah, well, that was gonna happen one way or another. Large Soul of the Proud Knight. There's actually a very important NPC right here a bit later. We have to beat this area boss first and meet a couple other requirements. We will be back. We'll see her. Now, this Lower Blighttown, I understand on the consoles, one of the reasons that this area is so hated is that this area gets really, really framey to the point... Pyromancer gear, of course. Gets really framey to the point where, you know, it can be unplayable. I haven't had issues like that, oh dear. But it actually does look a little framey right now. And I think, you know, that's trying to use Fraps, the recording software I'm using with the game. So, I hope that doesn't translate too much into the video. If it does, I apologize, but it's one of the things I'm still trying to get a handle on right now. Now, Blighttown, I wanna talk about a lot of lore here today, as I explore the swamp here and collect a bunch of useful items. First of all, the Gaping Dragon from a couple episodes ago. I really wanted to discuss him. That's actually a dragon who was so concerned, was so gluttonous, and just ate so much and devoured so much that eventually his entire body opened up to become that you know, the giant mouth that his rib cage stomach ends up being. These leeches, they look terrifying and gross. And I'm not saying I like them, but fortunately they're not very difficult. Mosquitoes. So yeah, I always thought that was really cool about the Gaping Dragon. Like, he just was so... again, I hate to use the same word, but I don't really know what other word to use. Gluttonous. That it just kind of consumed his being, and that's what his body became, was just a device to eat. Entirely. This is actually a really interesting thing right here. Flank shield. Okay. You may not be able to tell. Usually there's a red message down here someone put, but not today. This is an illusory wall. You can hit it and reach this treasure chest, and this is where it gets interesting. In the treasure chest is a Twin Humanities, which I've actually never discussed it with anybody else, but personally, my theory is that that is a hint. The Twin Humanities, the twin part of the Twin Humanities, of course, is a hint that there is actually a second illusory wall behind it, which I think you kind of have to interpret the Twin Humanities as a clue there, because if you don't, then that's just ridiculous. Like, an illusory wall behind another illusory wall, and it's right behind a treasure chest. Like, it would be so easy to just get there and think, oh, okay, well, here's the treasure chest behind the illusory wall, we're good to go. Instead, there's another one, and then this whole area here called the Great Hollow, which we may or may not... You know what, I do want to cover all the areas, so we probably will come back here later, but not right now. We're not going to mess with that. I just wanted to light that bonfire for the sake of having it there. Now we're actually mostly done exploring here, but yes. Anyway, back to the story. So there was the gaping dragon. I just wanted to throw that little tidbit out there because I thought that was really cool, and I forgot to share that in the actual gaping dragon video. Let's fight some leeches. Onto the Blighttown lore. This is actually really interesting. Ah, green Titanite shard. I was hoping it was a large Titanite shard. Although, you know what? Now that I say it out loud, I think I just remembered I have a spare large Titanite shard that I will use as soon as we get back to our bonfire. Now, as I was saying, Blighttown is a really interesting place from a lore perspective. It wasn't always just this swamp of despair that it is now. But it was actually poisoned. Ah, there we go. Good find. I love that those things drop large Titanite shards. I had totally forgotten about that from previous playthroughs. It wasn't always like this, but there was a certain character, an NPC in fact, that we'll meet later in this episode, who was, this is also the birthplace of pyromancy. You may remember Laurentius, the pyromancer who helped us start learning pyromancy, mentioned that this was a flame from the Great Swamp, and that's where he was from. And so, yeah, the swamp is basically the home, the start point of pyromancy. And it was while this character, who didn't entirely know what he was doing, was experimenting with pyromancy, trying to create poison pyromancy, that he corrupted and... Oh dear, get back. Don't want to die to the leeches, that'd be embarrassing. But yes, this place wasn't always so grim and disgusting as it is now. Oh, no! Jerk. Estus. I hope we don't run out of Estus. There's another large Titanite shard. Okay, you know what? This is a lot of leeches. They make me uncomfortable. Especially when they gang up on me like that! Oh. I did not feel great about that. I'm debating whether to go back for those souls or not. Yeah, I probably should. It won't take long. But first, large... Oh, of course, I need souls. Alright, take two. Those leeches, I'm so embarrassed. They really aren't that bad. They just... The trouble I had just now, when they rear back to attack, and that takes them out of range, and I wasn't accounting for that. Some sloppy sword play. And it got me killed. Although, speaking of sloppy sword play, of course, technically all the sword play in this game is incredibly sloppy. If you were to actually fight someone who knew what they were doing with a sword, like a Dark Souls character does, it probably wouldn't go over too well. Alright. Out of the way. Lots more rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I shouldn't have, that guy should not have scared me again. We're just gonna be super duper careful with Estes here, because I've already died here once, and I wasn't happy with it then, and I certainly wouldn't be happy with it if it happened again. Another large Titanite shard! It is our lucky day. I am glad I came back to get these souls if it meant we got another one of those. We're gonna have this baby up to +10 in no time. Ah! Sneak up on him. Don't even let him know we're here. I wonder how well Pyromancy works here. Good enough. Ah. As you can see, I'm quite talented with it. Server. Yeah, I knew it was some kind of weapon I was never gonna use back here. It's a pretty big sword. I think it's a curved greatsword, or was that not a class of weapon in Dark Souls 1? I can't remember if they only just added that in Dark Souls 2. It's a big old. It's basically a big scimitar, though, as far as I recall. Swamp. All right, we're gonna upgrade this. Gonna upgrade this scimitar a little bit more. Probably level up. Yeah, we're gonna level up once. Upgrade the scimitar a little bit, and then I believe it is boss time. Bonfire. I did a little bit of leveling up before this video. You may have noticed I had fewer souls when I started. Just got some more endurance and an extra attunement slot. Sure. Let's get an extra point of health. Reinforced weapon. Scimitar. Beautiful. It's a +8 already. Oh my goodness. Alright, and then... yeah, we have enough humanity we can use one for this boss fight. Alright, now we are off to fight the Chaos Witch Quelaag. You may remember from the intro cinematic of the game. If not, feel free to go back and look at it, either in the first episode of my series, or just individually on YouTube. It mentioned the witches of Izalith weaving great firestorms. Well, there's actually... oh, hey, you know what? We can use that. We can use that right now. There was the Witch of Izalith who tried to recreate the first flame that lit the world and failed horribly. We will talk more about that later. She is a boss. She's a boss later in the game in an area called Lost Izalith, as a matter of fact. Queen of Izalith. And she had 7 daughters. And we are about to go fight one of them. Most are accounted for in this game. I'm trying to think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure at least 5 of the 7 daughters of Chaos are accounted for. You see them or their remains, or what happened to them, or something along those lines. You learn of their fate in-game. Now, oh, hello. No, I don't want any. Thank you. I like to take this side route over here up to this weird hill. I have no idea what all of these are jutting out from it. I like to take this side route because if you go the normal way, you have to fight 3 of those giant... They're the barbarians with the poison clubs that we met at the beginning of Upper Blight Town, and I had some trouble with, except instead of clubs, they have giant boulders that they throw at you. These guys are called the Burdened, or the Egg Burdened. They will not mess with you. Do not mess with them. Bad things will happen. Yes, despair, indeed. We might go into that later. Oh, hey, one of these is an NPC, but it looks like we might actually have a real summon. This is Maneater Mildred, of course, who attacked me earlier in the last episode. We're wearing matching headgear. Hey, buddy! How are you? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the bow. Summon Maneater Mildred here, who can either be good or bad, depends on the game, really. Rather, how the AI feels like acting at the time. And here's a cutscene I'm gonna let play. As you can see, a very tasteful introduction to the Chaos Witch Quelaag. Almost always opens up with that move. I really like this boss fight. I think this is a great example. Oh shoot, I stood far too close. That is her area of effect, which you quite obviously do not want to get hit by. Oh, that guy was real helpful. Glad I summoned him. See, when you summon people to... Oh, my goodness. Get back. When you summon people to help you with a boss fight, it actually gives the boss more health to, you know, try and counteract the fact that more people are hitting it. So, if you summon someone, and this applies to, NPC summons that aren't considered very good as well. If you summon someone for a boss fight and then they don't last long enough to actually do a good amount of damage to the boss, well, then you're just making it harder. You do not want to stand behind Quelaag for very long. It's rarely seen. Very rarely, in fact. I beat this boss maybe a dozen times before the first time I witnessed it. But she actually does have an attack. That one, right there. Shakes her... Oh god! Get back! She shakes her abdomen and does a bunch of damage behind her. That can one-shot you if you're not careful and, you know, naked like I am. Thankfully, we're still doing pretty good. Mildred is unfortunately stuck on the wrong side of the lava, and her AI is not good enough to get around it. See, this is what I mean. Depends on the particular fight you get with Mildred. Sometimes she gets stuck in a corner by a pool of lava and doesn't move for 5 minutes. Other times, she stands perfectly in front of Quelaag and draws all of her attacks when you chop her to pieces. Depends on the day. Yes! Get back! Okay, good, good. Should have seen that coming sooner. Oh, who are you looking at? Me. That's fine, spit out your lava. Oh! Goodness, okay, almost didn't avoid that. And there she goes. Excellent. Thank you, Mildred. You were much more helpful than that other guy. I'm sorry if I've ever talked smack about you. 20,000 souls, not too bad. We are certainly going to find a use for those. And here is the second Bell of Awakening. Excellent. I like that cutscene. Having rung the second Bell of Awakening, we have opened the gate to Sen's Fortress. I believe I've mentioned that place by name before. Once again, it is quite infamous an area. Now out here, we will find the Demon Ruins. And as you can see, more of these egg-burdened. These are people affected by the blight of, you know, Blighttown. Oh yeah, see those big wavy tentacles over there? We could go fight that guy now, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on this whole area. This is theoretically a later game area anyway. Just wanted to get that bonfire again. Now, super important, once again, back in this room, once you come down these stairs after defeating Quelaag, this is a very important secret wall. And this is the guy that made Blighttown what it is. I was talking about him earlier, the pyromancer who dabbled too far into the toxic arts.
What have we here? Are you a new servant?
Sure.
But you have no eggs. I pray that you will mind your manners.
I'll wait 5 years for this guy to get out of the way. And here we go. Another nice bonfire. Now, there's nothing down this hallway, at least not now. There's a certain NPC that may invade you several times throughout the game if you're human at the right points. And if you defeat him, I believe he shows up 3 times, possibly. And if you defeat him all 3 times, his armor shows up here. Which is actually an interesting observation from a lore perspective. Again, I would refer you to VodiVidya or Epic Name Bro for lore videos on what's going on down here. This This is Quelaag's sister. One of them, of course. Quelana, I think? No, you know what? Actually, there hasn't been an official name given. I don't believe. I wasn't in a covenant, so I will. And this is nice because it gets us... Wait for it. Great Chaos Fireball Pyromancy, which is really cool. Now we're in this covenant, and here I'm faced with an interesting choice. See, I only joined this covenant because you get that pyromancy, and I'm debating. See, she is a firekeeper right here, and we can kill her. She won't put up a fight, and if we do, we get a firekeeper soul. She basically she doesn't look too great, right? That's because she has volunteered to drink the poison out of all of these egg-burdened people to try and ease their suffering. And, you know, that sounds like a pretty nice thing to do for the sister of the giant demon spider that just tried to kill us, but popular theory there that I really like is that Quelaag is simply defending the domain where her sister is, you know, suffering in peace. She would like to keep it that way. Now, if we do kill her, we're gonna have to kill this guy. I want it. Let's attune. Great Chaos Fireball. I think we're gonna kill her, because, I mean, she's suffering. I'm not gonna do anything with this covenant. And it does put out this bonfire, but here's the thing. When we gain the ability to warp, we can still warp to this bonfire, even if we can't warp from it. But there's that bonfire just down the hall in the Demon Ruins that we can warp from. So I'm not uber concerned about it. I've done it before, and this guy is only a minor pain in the butt.
I'm prepared to den. I will make if you need some.
So, oh, you can do this? Okay. Look at that powerful pyromancy. Excellent. Alright, well, he's gonna attack us once we attack her anyway, so let's just take care of him first. Oh my goodness. This little guy is quite the jumper. Yeah, these things, and this is why you don't want to attack those ones that aren't unfriendly to begin with. There are, like, 2 in the game, and I'm pretty sure that's correct. There are literally 2 of those egg-burdened NPCs in the game that will attack you unprovoked. And, you know, you learn from them that you're going to have to deal with these little maggots. But, you know, for the reason that the others don't attack you, you don't really want to bug them and have to deal with those unnecessarily. All right, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. We're gonna have to. I never feel good about that, you know. So what if it's just an NPC? Makes me sad. But she had something I wanted, so, you know, it's kind of her fault, isn't it? Alright, we just have one more thing to do before we get out of this godforsaken place. We're gonna go back to our bonfire and rest at it in that little sewage way, and then we're gonna redon the ninja garb because we're gonna go into the den of toxic blow dart guys in order to retrieve actually a 4th Firekeeper soul. We're about to get a big boost to our Estus flask. And this is another one, this next one I'm gonna go get, that you actually can get fairly easily at the beginning of the game if you take the Master Key starting gift. But it's a little tricky and almost certainly a suicide mission. Although as long as you get the item, you know, that's what matters. Stamina. It really is, I mean, I suppose it's a little late to be emphasizing this 7 videos in, but stamina management is really king. You just can't let that bar empty, because when it empties, it actually takes longer to go back up, to recover. And you want to avoid that as much as possible. Alright, now we could level up here, but we're not going to because I want to see if I can save these 8,000 souls to buy the Fire Orb spell from Laurentius once we get back topside. Oh, there. You almost saw him breathe fire there. Thankfully, I've been quick enough on the draw that I haven't let them do that so far. Oh, almost went too far there. I think there's an item, maybe, in the swamp there behind that guy. But I'm not sure, and I don't really care enough to find out. Now here, you ride this water wheel up. Well, I suppose it's not technically a water wheel because there's no water moving it, but that's what it reminds me of. In fact, if we look across the way here, you can see there's that dog. It's one of the undead dogs that's moving. That one, anyway. Ah, these things. Oh, joy. Take out this guy first. Deal with you. Okay, now... Like I said, I'm not super proud, but we should put back on the shadow set for this. It has good poison resistance, and I don't want to use everything, all the blooming purple moss clumps I have here. We have to climb one more level. This area always confuses me a little bit. Okay, and then I believe, yes, here we are. Access denied, son. Ah, okay. It begins. Gonna have to be very vigilant about healing right now. Okay. Okay. Come on now. Okay. Oh, hey, look at him. He even gave us a blooming purple moss clump. How nice of him. Alright, now this guy is a pain in the butt. I don't think I can hit him except with pyromancy. And then he retreats. Because, once again, a butt. I think we're just not going to bother with him right now. I don't think he's gonna... I think we'll be fine. This moment always scares me a little bit too. I always forget they breathe fire. Oh my goodness. I always forget they breathe fire. What? That is crazy. Oh my goodness. For a second I was like, man, these things are smaller than I remember. Am I really so scared of these? But yeah, you know what? I am, because they breathe fire. And they're really good at just making that initial jump at you. Alright, 2 more of these guys. Let's rock and roll. Whoop! And Firekeeper Soul. Now, I like to note that, look, it's another body behind bars in this little alcove here. Kind of exactly like Anastasia Vestora. I keep saying that, and I don't think it's right, just because I don't remember her being named. Is it Anastasia? Oh, I really ought to look that up before I start talking about her anymore. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Alright, you know what, buddy? This is why you don't have any friends. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I have 4 Estus left. Do I? There's something... There's something over there. I know there is. And it's gonna bug me unless I go and get it, even though I know it's kind of treacherous to go that way. It's got I hate walking on that tree. Oh! I forgot to take 2 to tango. Ah! That's what it is. Get the sealer set. That's actually a pretty cool set of robes. And the remedy sorcery. Okay, that doesn't help me at all. And honestly, kind of has fairly limited use, even if I were doing a sorcery run. Remedy of just cures poison, which, you know, is nothing to laugh at in this area, but as you can see, we kind of got it towards the end, and after this area, it's a much less relevant skill. Really? There we go. Ah, yes, I knew there was something else up here. Wait, and, yeah, that's why I didn't like this place. Because you come over here and there's a couple enemies up here, and that's it. I mean, there's the sorcery and the robes that we just picked up down here that are actually pretty decent robes and sorcery. But climb up those ladders and there's nothing. And this, oh my goodness, I have died exactly like that. Exactly like that, more times than I care to admit. There is something about that damn branch. I can't handle it. You know what though, those toxic guys do not respawn. So I am totally cool with taking the armor back off now. Ugh! That is annoying. We're gonna try to retrieve those souls really quick. If we die, and we're just gonna leave this place. Back up the water wheel. Oh, I did get poisoned. It's annoying. There's usually a mosquito or two who tries to follow me up this far. Ah, there he is. And there's the other one. Good grief. Hey, are you coming or what? We doing this? Screw you. Alright, back across this tree, because I hate this. Where are my... wait a second. No? Are they... okay, left it up here. For a second, I got caught on a ledge, like before falling all the way when I fell down this slope last time. I was worried that it tried to put my bloodstain on the first ledge that I touched. Okay. God, I hate this. Oh, thank Christ. And now we are ready to leave Blighttown. Previously, we kept going straight here to get into that area with all the toxic blow dart guys, but now we are going to just continue upwards. There is a treasure chest around here somewhere. Is it on this top? Yep, okay, it's right back here. Now, this is going to give us a key. The key, okay, yes. That key is important. Well, it isn't in our run because we took the master key, but it is because of what it means the master key does. Also, there are like 8 of these guys. That's a total lie. There's like 3 or 4 of these guys in this hallway, but I've already demonstrated that I am completely inept at fighting them, so I'm just going to skip them all. Now here we are in the Valley of the Drakes, which, you know, big area name came up and all that. You think, oh cool, another area. That sounds awesome. Nope, you're pretty much looking at almost the whole thing. You can't go that way. Both of these ledges end. And that way, there's like, the whole valley is like twice the length of what we can see right now. It's not particularly great. We're going to tangle with the rest of it later, I imagine, but right now. Now here, we use the key to New Londo Ruins. However, if you start with the Master Key, which I did, but because I picked up the key to New Londo Ruins, it used that instead there. If you pick the Master Key, you may recall, this place looks familiar. We came here in the first episode to grab that initial Firekeeper soul, and this is how we're getting back to Firelink Shrine. If you take the Master Key, you can just walk up here, open this door with the Master Key, and then start at that last stretch of Blighttown where we just exited. You can start there and just ride down the water wheel, fight Quelaag, and then come back up. Because you don't technically have to go to the depths or Upper Blighttown at all. Although, once again, even in runs where you skip most of Blighttown, you probably want to at least enter the depths so that you can get the big Ember and upgrade your weapons past +5. Alright, we have 13,000 souls. That's excellent. We are going to pay Laurentius for another fire spell after we reinforce our Estus Flask twice. Excellent.
Oh, hello there. Why? What's spectacular pyromancy? Tell me about it. I have never seen anything like it.
Oh no. This is actually, you do not want to tell Laurentius. What this is he sees the great chaos fireball that I have. The first time you speak to him with any kind of chaos pyromancy or a pyromancer's flame, above +10, I think, he does this, and you do not want to tell him where it's from.
I see. I suppose I was mistaken. In any case, I definitely trust you. Apologies, my friend. Forget that I said anything.
And look at him. Look at him. What a nice guy. He doesn't bother you about it.
Be safe, don't you?
He's just like, you know what? Cool. You don't think I should know? I shouldn't know.
Oh, please, as always.
What a class act, Laurentius. And the reason you don't want to tell him is because then he goes to Blighttown in search of that power that you have. And he hollows there. And then the next time you go to Blighttown, you have to fight him. And it's really sad. So, we kind of acted like a dick there, some might say, but I don't care. Saved Laurentius. He's my buddy. This soul of Quelaag, by the way, that we got for defeating her, that's going to be very important to us. We're going to start getting souls for a lot of the bosses that we fight now. And you can use them, you can just like use them like we are now using these consumable souls and get a pretty decent amount. But you can also save them, and there's a certain blacksmith that will be able to combine a certain type of weapon +10 and a boss soul, and the type of weapon of course depends on what boss soul, and you can make boss weapons, and that's what we are going to do for to get our main weapon. It's going to be a boss weapon called Quelaag's Fury Sword, hence why we need her soul. Anyway, I think that about does it for today. I actually don't know how long I've been recording, and that's bad. This might be a very long episode. But we got a lot done, and there's actually 3 different places that we could go to next. We can either return to the Northern Undead Asylum, we can go to the Darkroot Garden and Darkroot Basin, or we could go straight to Sen's Fortress. I'm going to think about which one of those paths we're going to take, and I will see you guys in the next episode after I've decided. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like. If you'd like to start a discussion or leave some constructive criticism, feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to continue with us as we journey through Lordran, please subscribe. Thank you, everybody, and have a good one.